don't even know if I'm going to make it to the meal. Someone just joined us, and I think it's the host.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing swell. Give me a second.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm going to put Baxter down and let him go play.
Okay. Baxter, that's a cool name.
All right. Hello, everyone. Give me 2 minutes and 1. Hello, you guys.
And welcome to the Women's Cave, because Jay gets to have it behind the screen today.
No, you can't have anything if you're behind the scene.
You know what? I have bronchitis. Leave me alone.
Whatever. I'm not even taking that no more. She's had bronchitis for the longest. I feel bad for her, though.
Oh.
Anyway, so this is not actually our show, like our normal podcast today. I'm gonna get down to business, the brass tacks, as they would say. This is National Poetry Month, and so to celebrate National Poetry Month, we are getting poets to read their, guess what? Don't be shocked, poetry. Absolutely. It's like eyes open, mouth agape. Poetry. So today we have Miss Mercedes Lewis, who I have to tell you guys who recommended her, Miss Stephanie Dial. You guys remember her from the Producer Roundtable, our television show, our podcast, and from our Inspirational Women in Journalism. She was our keynote this year. And when she was like, you have to have Mercedes Lewis on, you don't say no to your keynote. You go,
Okay. Wow.
Stephanie is always right. Stephanie is a blast.
Yes.
Exactly. You never argue with her. She's normally right. But anyway, Miss Mercedes Lewis, without any further ado, please introduce yourself and read your poetry.
I shall do that. Hi, everyone. My name is Mercedes, Ms. M. Whichever you prefer, I answer to all of them. As some people say, you can call me anything, but don't call me late for dinner. I'm going to begin by reading On Being a Poet, and then I'm going to read some parts that I don't normally read in public. They're a little bit dark, but tomorrow will be the celebration of my mother's homegoing, and so I thought it would be appropriate that I delve back there for a change, and then we'll get lighter and happier. But I'm going to start with On Being a Poet. I can write a poem sometimes quicker than taking a drink. I can make a new rhyme before you can even think or blink. You think I would be arrogant, confident, and sure, but I am rife with feelings no person should endure. Is it childish or too simple? Is it worth the time to read? I hope it will empower, planting courage as a seed. Will it make the reader laugh or rend a heartfelt sigh? Will it make her leap for joy or will it make her cry? So when the words come to me as the first thing in the day, should I write them down quickly or just push the words away? Words just crop up on their own like a random errant weed, and to get them down on paper seems to be more than a need. Once the words slow down, it's like pulling teeth, I think, trying to find them and to shape them as they drive me to the brink. Like trying to rhyme with orange, everybody knows it's true. Doesn't matter how you frame it, it's impossible to do. All the rhyming, all the rhythm, maybe too much Dr. Seuss, all the catchy rhyme books once devoured as a youth. I don't want to write the words down. I don't want others to see, but the words just soldier around taunting until I set them free. I will let the words flow out. I will even write them down, hoping that when others read them, they won't see me as a clown. I am used to interaction when I read because, when I read in public, everybody always says stuff. Okay, moving on. This is dedicated to my mom and to my dear friend Sandra Moran, as you know, Elizabeth. It's called The Telling. Gently, she said, as she pulled me in for a hug. I wrapped my arms around her. She felt slight, almost empty, this vessel, exquisitely ethereal, almost more spirit than substance. Spirit before spirit, light before light. I looked into her eyes to see if she knew what I now knew. Soulful eyes gazed back. She knew, and she knew that I knew. There was no need to ask, no need for words. She also knew that I knew she has known for some time. No doctor need tell her, no hopeless hope imparted. This, her gift to those she loved, to go swiftly into the night.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And also in
It makes you
keeping with that.
sad.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful, though.
Yeah, that's why I said some of the back part of the glimpses portion of the book is in 4 parts, and the glimpses part has some pretty heavy. I decided not to read one that really is about my mom, but yeah, no, I don't want that. So, my new rainbow. I've been sad. Mother Nature commiserated. Each day dark and brooding clouds, no blue sky, no thunder, very little lightning, bucket upon bucket of tears. On the 3rd day, against the backdrop of soft white clouds to the west, a beautiful, brilliant, full new rainbow. My neighbor asked, "Did you see that rainbow today? I've never seen one like it." I smiled through my tears. Today, there are still clouds, but beyond that, the bluest sky, all is well. I will look for my new rainbow.
Yes, that's definitely more uplifting.
I love it.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And so my haiku. Since we are here now, visiting pain, here, take mine. I do not want it.
So true.
Yeah.
I can
And-
write haiku, so I'm thoroughly impressed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and this is a little bit lighter, I think. Blues and soul. The sound of blues and soul are buried deep within me. I have embraced the soul, but always been ashamed and maybe a little afraid of the blues. The blues are so telling. The bass walks around, stomping in the front, leading the way, yet seeming to support and hold the whole thing together. The guitar wails and moans. The runs and progression tell all the secrets of an aching heart. Cry, baby, cry, it seems to say. Cry, we will cry together, and scream and plead. What purer love can there be but pain? The guitar invites the horns. They dance and parlay, bringing crescendos and depths that force you to close your eyes and see. The violin takes your hand and walks with you to that place. It's all, that's all. It is all defined by blues and soul.
I love that poem.
Thank you.
Listening to blues, it's odd, but it makes me happy.
Yes. And this one is for Miss Stephanie Duell, who recommended me. And I don't know if she saw my event or she's probably tied up because I believe she was at Klexicon. She's such an eclectic and busy woman. But this is her favorite poem. She often tells me. So here it is. It's called Oh Daddy. I really thought you were going to do something with those gymnastics, he said. Oh Daddy, if I had known that you noticed, I would have won Olympic gold. And I think we've got time for one more, so let's make it lots of fun. This is for all of us. As we grow older, one thing we must have is someone with whom to grow older and laugh. Laugh at each other, laugh at oneself, but no matter what, don't climb up on a shelf. When drivers think your car is the kind that you bump and one of you is sporting a shine or a lump, when your body aches and your teeth all fall out, it's really good to have someone about to remind you of when you could catch a ball or sport 5-inch heels without taking a fall. It may be a brother or lover or friend, but with this one person, there'll be no pretend. No matter what else you forget, make a deal. to laugh right out loud now and then until you squeal.
Thank you for that. Yes. Jade is saying thank you so much for that poll.
You're very welcome. Is it okay to use a little profanity? Because this one has, okay. This will probably be the last one because I'm moving at 1 minute and 30 seconds here. It's called a microwave. It's a simple thing, really, and it shouldn't drive me crazy. And I'm sure she doesn't do it because she's mean or because she's lazy. After all of this time and the things that we've been through, you would think that by now she would know just what to do. Please, reset the fucking microwave. It sounds as though someone answered that.
So true.
That's one of my favorites.
Okay, I've got a minute left, so let's do this one. It's called Cooking 101. Everything you cook doesn't have to be on high. Everything you cook doesn't have to boil or fry. Back that heat up, slow it down. Some things should be a little brown. Some things simmer, braise, or steam. Some things should still be brightly green. Pan, sear, saute, muddle, reduce, all are ways to cook. You can cook by trial and error, or you could use a book. If you cannot relax and enjoy the cooking craze, save the pots and pans and just use the microwave.
And then reset it. Reset.
Yes, please, reset. Maybe I'll do those in reverse order next time. Okay, and I've got about 10 seconds, so should I? Here we are.
Oh, if you have one more, go for it.
Okay, let's find a fun one. Actually, I wanted to read one more for my mom if I could find it. It's actually, let's read one for all the ladies. It's called What a Ride. From chat room to instant message to private chat, have you ever met a woman like that? Daytona Beach, toes in the sand, sex on the first date, man, oh man. Coast to coast, foreign places too. Life was so exciting as my love for her grew. Space, time, distance could not compete. Her hugs and kisses were oh so sweet. Wait, she wants to end it now? But we had just begun. Was I the only one who was really having fun? Like every ride at the fair, you just got on and then you're there. But what a ride.
Oh, Miss Lewis, it has truly been a pleasure to enjoy the roller coasters of emotions that you've taken us through with your poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a few questions, but first I would like to ask, since you have a live audience, you drummed up your own live audience. I am very proud.
Thank you.
Live audience, do you have questions or concerns or thoughts about the meanings of the poem?
I do. Mercedes, do you write every day or just when inspiration strikes?
Well, Elizabeth, inspiration strikes all the time, pretty much everywhere, but I will admit that I've been in somewhat of a funk lately. I'm not going to blame it on politics or parents or anything else that starts with P. But of late, I've not really put paper to pen. Another P, I'm alliterating here. See, I'm a poet. But you know what? I'm going to start back.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Lewis, I have to ask, why did you get started?
Well, actually, I've always rhymed and made poems. And many years ago, the organization called GCLS, it's the Golden Crown Literary Society. I was a member invited by one of my favorite writers, and I went and I used to write these little limericks or poems or whatever after each one and read it when I got back about the fun time and everything. And a publisher who attends the meeting, and actually it was one of the founding mothers, kept saying, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. And one of the reasons she wanted me to write a book was because she had several poets. But as you know, poets can be rather dark and, Miss Plath. And so she wanted, because I wrote fun stuff, she wanted a book of poetry, and of course there's some dark stuff because that's the way of a poet. But I will say that I am grateful she came to me, so I didn't have to look for a publisher and all of that. And she was very patient. She waited 10 years until I finally put my butt in the seat and got these things together and wrote some new ones so that we could put the book out.
Oh wow, that's one of those stories that you hate to hear but love to hear.
Yeah.
Because someone comes to you and be like, "You're great," and all these other writers are like, I wish this could happen to me." I am happy to know that there's still people out there looking for wonderful art. Now you have a book, so you got to at least show us the cover and tell us the title.
Okay, I don't know if it's reversed or not, or how to unreverse it.
Okay, and the title is, just to make sure everyone can read it.
It's called Glimpses of a Fractured Soul.
Oh yeah, I definitely see it. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so
this picture is actually a beach in Provincetown. If you've ever been to P-Town for Women's Week or whatever, you can go over to the beach and you will find this. And I actually took this picture probably more than 10 years ago as well, before Kathy even asked me about the book, because it struck me the tenacity and temerity of this plant to be surviving in this dead piece of wood on the beach every year that I went, even up until year before last.
oh my goodness,
survives.
flushing those pearls, those imaginary pearls.
Yes.
That's tenacity.
Yes, it is.
So my next question is for, guess what, you guys, we're gonna have audience participation. You okay with that, Miss Elizabeth over there?
I'm fine with it.
And Grant, don't be hiding back there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, so I was going with what I saw.
That's fair.
So I'm assuming you guys are loyal fans. What makes you fans of hers?
I actually did meet Mercedes at the Golden Crown Literary Society. And we also went to Women's Fest in Rehoboth Beach last year together. And she asked me to read some of her poems, and I just thought they were lovely. And they spoke to a spirit of survival and triumph. And I host a radio book club, and Mercedes has been on the book club.
This is actually my first time hearing your poems. My mom actually just got me and said, "Hey, there's some really great poetry going on." So.
I was just about to ask you this, because I was like, I hear about Women's Week, the Girl in Liter, and I was like, there's a guy back there. He has an opinion. I want you to know what is making him stand there.
And it's not just for the ladies, Grant. It's glimpses of a fractured soul, and we've all been there and got a few cracks or whatever. So it's applicable to life.
Yeah. Because life comes along and starts breaking down those dreams, and it's your job to glue them back together.
Yes.
So I want to thank you so much, Miss Lewis, for sharing your poetry. Jade is saying thank you from the back. So please tell everyone where they can buy your book and where they can find out more information about what you're doing next.
Okay. You can purchase the book either from Amazon. Just put in the title and it will come up. You can purchase the book through my publisher, which is Regal Crest Enterprises online. Or you can purchase the book through me, and you can find me on Facebook. You can find an account for me on Twitter. You can also find my blog, which is, what is it? See, I haven't been there in a while. I believe it's Mercedes Lewis Blogs on WordPress. And if you want to, order a book and have it inscribed, just let me know and we'll work that out. And as far as future works, I'm a horrible procrastinator, but I'm here now.
You're a writer, of course you are.
I'm working on it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it's all about teams know. They know that we promise books all the time, and 6 months later, they come out.
Yes, I'm not promising anything. I always want to have a low expectation so I can overwhelm.
Miss Elizabeth, since you are here and you mentioned you have a radio show, where do we find this?
Yes, please.
On Facebook, it's the Sandra Moran Radio Book Club. And the poem that Mercedes read earlier about Sandra Moran and her mother, that's actually how we met.
Sandra. Yes.
was through Sandra. And you can find me on Facebook, and it's an LGBT book club. And Mercedes, you've been on what, 3 times?
At least 3, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it's out of, what is it, KKF5, Kansas City. You can find it on that TuneIn app or anywhere, or you can go on their website and get the podcast or streaming.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I have to ask the only guy in the room, any closing words after all the ladies?
Well, as Mercedes said before, it's really poetry that can be applied to anyone. It's life poetry. So I thought it was really great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you guys for being here. And since this is my show, I'm going to take time to be narcissistic and talk about him.
Okay.
Please.
So I'm Winona, which I did not mention at the beginning, and I'm part of the And I Thought Ladies. And since Jade is not here, these things don't get mentioned. You can find everything that your ladies are doing at www.andwethought.com. And since we do write poetry, Advocate Awarded Poets over here, you're going to have to hear some of ours. Aren't you just so happy?
I am.
Actually, smile. Everybody actually smile.
No.
Stop smirking.
They're crying. They're crying.
They're probably
Okay.
crying. Since we seem to have this theme today of respecting those who have had impacts on our lives but are no longer part of our lives, we're going to go with lesson 5 in our compilation book. And I thought I did my journey alone. So it says, the traveler respects. Those who traveled before have worn the path to smoothness. Feet have trodden the surface in pursuit of their dreams. The way they climbed, the ways they cleared, the way they swiveled and cut through the dangers is how we know where to go. Only you. When they say, we are sorry for your loss, do they understand what it means to lose? I had to pull the plug. I had to choose. When they say it'll be hard, have they heard themselves? Do they know what it means to awaken without them there, to hear their footsteps and know there are no feet, to listen to the door creak, to hear a car pull into the yard, but know it is not theirs, to replay those last words until you can't remember their voice? Do they know? I know those who feel the pain. I see it in their eyes, not by tears. I see their little irises as they bend back and squint. I see the grief in their glints. I see the formations in their tear ducts. I see the walls they have built. I see how their life spark is slightly disconnected. I hear the last embrace that held them in the loved one's arms, and I feel the heartache of a casket in the grounds. And the more I look, the more I see them around. And I know only you understand me now. To our late, great, and beloved, we see your footprints cemented in our life. We know they don't continue on and on, but where they stopped is where we begin. Know your influence will never end. Our feet don't fit in your imprints because we have so far to go before we grow to fill them. We are the hope of both yours and ours. We understand we are your legacies, your statues, and your talents. And we will live this in every second and every minute, culminated into ours. Written by the hearts and grief of all those who lost someone. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. And please stay with us in National Poetry Month. And I believe our next poet will be Sherry Woods next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What was the name of your book,
Hold on
please?
one more second. Please remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. For peace and love, you guys, from Winona. And I have my nails
And
done.
Jade in the background.
And Jade in the background. Bye-bye.